Hey everybody, how's it going? So here we have an A1398 MacBook Pro that's not turning on. The A1398 is a 2012 through 2015 15-inch MacBook Pro Retina display. Let's open this up and see what's going on with this MacBook and see if we can make it work again. Look! Dirty MacBook. Oh man, don't ask me for predictions. I originally predicted that the iPhone would not be... Like, who the hell's going to want a computer and a phone? You have to deal with crashing and all this, and it's $600. Are you kidding me? Yeah, that was some dumb shit right there. Okay, so let's figure out what's wrong with this MacBook. Good old 24 milliamps. That's the good old missing PM sleep S4L numbers. And we can see here that this gentleman is someone who saved up to get the 1 terabyte PCI Express SSD. These things are quite fast. Apple is including some good stuff with this machine when it comes to the storage. I mean, you may not like how proprietary it is, but this SSD is fast. Granted, the 2015 one fails more often than the 2013-14 one, but it's fast. But this one actually is the 2013-14 one. Yeah, this is an 820-3787. See? The number's right there. I know you can read that. My camera's good enough. So... Uh-oh. Wrong screws and wrong holes already. Oh, no. Wrong screw, wrong hole. Oh, you son of a bitch. You son of a bitch. You long screwed it. Yeah, lame. I was surprised seeing you check lighting stores and then say, I think I'll buy online. Well, I've always passed by those stores. I passed by them when I was riding my bike in that area, and it's really interesting. And I thought, you know, New York City is a ripoff, but maybe this won't be. And the reason I thought there was a chance it wouldn't be a total ripoff is because there's a bunch of stores in that very short block. It's like 5 or 7 lighting stores in one block. So I figured they would all work off each other and compete. But the reality is that every single one of them is selling this ridiculous shit. I don't know how the fuck they make any money. Especially in Chinatown. It's like Chinatown, I'm not saying this in a bad way, it's just Chinatown is not where I go when I'm thinking high-end luxury retail. Chinatown is where I'm going to get a deal. Like, I'm going to Chinatown to get a service that I probably couldn't get in another part of the city, or because there's a deal. You know, when you go to Canal Street, you're there for a deal. You're not there to pay... The whole point, you're not there to pay... Macy's, Barney's, Aldo pricing. Lame. Keyboard thing is not in place either. Somebody ripped off the keyboard latch over there. So when I walk into the Chinatown store and I see this is a cute light, you know, it's not the best thing in the world, but it's kind of cute, and I see it's $2,400 for the fucking LED light. It's just, you know, get the fuck out of here with that shit. That's just no. You know, you put this shit in some overpriced modern art rich people's auction museum where it belongs. No way the prices are fixed. They require hardcore negotiation. But why? That's the thing. It's if you were the only place to get it from, sure. But why? I'll just use the internet. I don't have to negotiate with the internet. I click a button and I get whatever it is you would allow me to negotiate that price down to. I will... Oh, you son of a bitch. You ripped the screw grommet off of the board. You long screw rapist. You Oh, man, why? Anyway. Why do I want to waste time haggling when I can just click a button, you know? And this shit was crazy. Like $2,000 for a light. Holy shit. You know, I may charge 200 to 400 for a board repair. There are other places online without the physical storefront that may be at the 150 to 250 level. Or as you save 50, maybe $100. But like, you're taking a light that's like $200 on the internet, and you want $2,400 for it. Fuck off. Because that's the thing that pisses me off the most, is that this is what's driving people to not like stores. And I'm a store. So, you know, I don't want people looking online and going, well, Lewis, you want $275 for this, and this guy online wants $200. Oh, yeah, the guy online is doing it in his bedroom. He doesn't have a license or workman's comp insurance or any of this other shit. Like, I get that. That shit costs money. But that does not mean you get the charge. You know, it's not like 10 times as much fucking money. Get out of here with that shit. Because your people that do that are fueling the very consumers that tell me that I'm a ripoff. You know, or that or you're fueling the consumers that are not going to trust me with the services I provide, because they're going to think they're getting ripped off as a result of being in New York. And of course you're paying a New York tax when you come to Rossman Group. You're going to pay some New York tax, but you're not paying a 1,000% New York tax. Okay. What did you do, dum-dum? Besides rip the screw holes off of the board. I see that there is minor corrosion-looking stuff or food in the USB port, but that's not connected anymore. Don't get me wrong, it was a nice-looking light at $2,400, but for $2,400, I expect the light to suck my dick or something. It's just you can't charge that much money for a light fixture. Just go away. Has the right to repair battle been won yet? Nope. But the ball has been kicked down the road. I did hear from a little bird that apparently there was at one point a memo at Apple, and that they actually asked, like, oh, you know, is this what we're doing? Are we really designing stuff like this? And when it comes to the lack of repairability, and that I was cited in it, and the fact that my name came up at Apple in a memo that employees were writing to each other, like, I'm done, you know. Did I win? No, but my work is done. I planted the seed, and that's really all I needed to do. All I needed to do was plant a seed, and I did. Okay, so this machine is taking 24 milliamps, and that's no good. You're not going to become an Apple engineer, Copass. You can't, because if you do, bad things will happen to you, Copass. Very bad things. Okay, so obviously PP-Bus G3 Hot's going to be here. That's typically the case when we're at 24 milliamps. But I'll double check. You know what? I made an assumption too soon. PP-Bus G3 Hot is at 3.7 volts. Okay, well, let's take a look at the chip that makes PP-Bus G3 Hot. Area looks fine. I don't see any blown looking resistors. Well, next first thing we're going to do is check our current sensing circuit. Oh yeah, and the guy said I have to special order that. Yeah, that was funny. When we asked the guy for the price, it took him a good 20 seconds to read it off the tag. And he goes, do you have a bulk price? Oh yeah, they're special order. But it's hanging in your store. $21 ohms here. .3 there. Current sensing circuit's doing its job. So the first thing that we have to figure out here is, why is this board only making 3 volts for PP-Bus G3 Hot? Do we have a short circuit on PP-Bus G3 Hot? What happened to hello and welcome? I don't know. I'm working on the pee-pee bus right now. The pee-pee bus is too low. On the other side of the fuse, the pee-pee bus is also too low. Wait, you're at millivolts. What? Let's turn this to volts. What the hell am I doing? Okay. Yeah, 3.73. On the other side, 3.73. 3.73. 3.73. Now perhaps we have a short circuit of some type. Maybe we have a short. Let's see if there's a short circuit. 7.2 million ohms. That is not a short circuit. 8 million ohms. That's not a short circuit. Okay, so what we have to do now, figure out why PPBus G3 hot is missing. Could it just be that we had a spontaneous failure of the ISL6259 chip? And if that's the case, where can we go to get a replacement ISL6259 chip?
This video is brought to you by our sponsors at store.rossmangroup.com. Thank you for supporting our sponsors that help keep us in business. On store.rossmangroup.com, you can find chips, supplies, ultrasonics, flux, soldering stations, and more. With 4.9 stars on Shopper Approved, same-day shipping from New York City, and free continental shipping over $30, you can't lose. We even offer free support, unless you're a Please Bro, live chat, and are adding new products every day. If you buy today, we'll throw in a special offer that your order will actually go through properly. What are you waiting for? Go to store.rossmangroup.com to get yourself some authentic Amtech flux. Don't delay. Buy today.
What up, man?
Can you disconnect your Bluetooth turn off Bluetooth on that machine? With professional shilling of that caliber, you should be on float plane. Meh. I'll be where I am. Did you get time for the gym today? I made time for the gym the other day. I am now resting, and I'll be revisiting tomorrow. If I root my Android and it bricks, I can't blame the manufacturer because I invalidated my warranty. Au contraire. You haven't done customer service for any of these manufacturers, now have you? If I send it to them because a sealed battery is dead and needs replacing, and they return it to me broken, they are liable for replacing my phone. Is that the same for you guys? Well, yes and no. So a big part of the problem is that a lot of what we work on is liquid damage. So for instance, someone may say my machine is randomly crashing. They show up and it's covered in cat pee. And then I open it and it's dead. Did I kill it by opening it? Or did cat pee meeting a computer make its natural course and kill your machine? Now, if that's the case, and let's say the customer doesn't want to pay to fix it, and I give it back to them and it's dead, they're going to go, that's not right. I want to get it back in the same condition I gave it to you. And it's like, yeah, you gave it to me with cat piss on it. You got it back with cat piss on it. We're done here. But that's not the way it winds up working out in reality a lot of the time. All right, back in here. Here's the ISL 6259. We're going to cover it with just a little bit of fresh Amtech flux. And now we're going to replace it. This is the chip responsible for creating the rail that's missing. We're just going to move it from the board like such, using our Quick 861DW. I'm sorry we don't have these in stock. I paid Quick for these about 3.5 weeks ago, and they still haven't shipped yet. Very disappointing. Spent hundreds of thousands of dollars buying Quicks, and they've gotten slower and slower to reply to anything I send, and it's... Yeah, I got an email yesterday saying, we will give you tracking for this as soon as it's shipped shortly. Like I paid you 3.5 weeks ago. Come on. Ugh. Maybe looking for a new vendor of hot air stations. Kind of curious, has anything come out that's worth reviewing? Because I do like checking out these new stations from other companies. And Quick is giving me a really good incentive to try out their competition at this point in time. Like, they made some really nice hot air stations that crapped on that garbage interface that you get with the FR810, and it was more powerful than the FR810, which is really cool. But if it's this hard to get a hold of them, then times move on. And I'm kind of curious what else there is out there that may be worth giving a review, similar to the review I did of the HAKKO versus the Quick. Is there? I'm happy with all my equipment that I have, so I don't really stay up to date on what all the newest soldering equipment is or stuff. But if there's anything out there that may be a better deal, have some better features, may work better than the Quick, since I haven't really tried anything else in a few years, I would be happy to learn. And that wick never works for me. Must not be Gootwick. Paul Daniels is in the chat. By the way, everybody say hello to Paul Daniels. Paul Daniels works in the multimeter software that I use, as well as the board view software, so that I can see what's going on any of these motherboards. He even has a commercial version of it. Cafe says, please forward Twitch chat's greetings to him. Word has it every now and then if Twitch asks for Paul Daniels enough that he'll appear in the Twitch chat. Doll Paniels. Paul Daniels. As you can see, we're taking 1.6 amps now, which means our PP-Bus G3 Hot is going to be working, because if a PP-Bus G3 Hot were not 12.6 volts, we would not be getting the thing to turn on and all that good stuff. So if I were to turn the multimeter to voltage mode, that power rail that before was giving us 3 volts would now be giving us 12.56. Or, because this board appears to be drunk at the moment, 11.6. Just turn that off, turn that on again, double check. MacBook, you're drunk. Perhaps it's because the chip is still hot. So, we're not out of the woods yet, folks. The next thing I gotta do here is re-solder on... Oh, God, actually. Yeah, there's no soldering that back on, is there? That's a good question, Test to Destruction, and the reason is that I have built up a name and a business here over the past 11.5 years, and if I move somewhere else, I'm starting from scratch in that area, and I don't, maybe it's just insecurity. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I don't think that I would be able to start from scratch in a new place and get somewhere. That could be what it is. But the other big part of it is that, take people like Steve. Steve has family here. He set down roots here, and he has been working here for, in 2 months it'll be 7 years. 7 years. And, he's the senior employee here, management, and to tell him, your reward for being here for 7 years, we can do two things. I can promote you a higher level, give you more profit incentives to learn things like data recovery, which he took on himself, by the way, to learn how to do all the hard drive data recovery stuff in his own time. I could, I could reward you for that and have you take on a bigger role at the company. Or I can say, you know what, fuck you, I'm leaving, and, yeah. Good luck finding another job, bye. And there's several people here that have been here for many years, and I'd be leaving them all behind. And it's not like you're leaving family behind. It's not the same thing as leaving family. It's because your family, if you move away and your dad or whatever doesn't see you as often, that's different than if you move away and all of your employees now have no place to work. You got to think about the people that are around you as well. I don't want to just leave them all behind. Now, granted, we could potentially have a discussion at some point that says, listen, I hate the city. It's an absolute shithole. Would you want to move elsewhere? But then the problem is, if we move elsewhere and I take all these people and I don't need them anymore because I have no business in these new locations where it's going to take me years and years and years to develop a reputation in that specific area, well, that's a lot of money that I'm not going to be able to pay them, and they will have moved for nothing. So that can end very, very badly. And do I want to live in an area that I'm not the biggest fan of, but still be able to keep my conscience? Or do I want to live someplace that's maybe a slightly nicer area, but have to live knowing that I've fucked up the lives of over a dozen people? Okay, I'm looking for my screw bag. And I don't mean my side hoe, I mean my actual bag of screws. There we go. I'm looking for that stupid screw grommet. Where the F did you go? Here, screw grommet. Really, you're gonna make me take a grommet from a donor board? Okay. That's what we gotta do. That's what I'll do. We're gonna take that grommet from a donor. Now you can see, here's why long screw damage is bad, by the way. So when you this is the screw grommet, and it doesn't go through the board. Like, the screw is not going to go through the board. It screws into this grommet. So if you put the long screw, it doesn't go through the board, it just scratches the board. So see this over here? See where there's that scratched up shit in there? Now over here you may not have actually gotten at anything that's really important. But what screws people up is when they put the long screw in the short hole and it goes through lots of traces on the board that are actually important. It's a donor for an ISL 6259 and it's a donor for a screw hole, Piernov. Can I trust the screw hole off of a randomly turns off board? Will you give me that? Can I trust that the screw hole on the board is okay? To your pair of their electronics. Not out of here. Okay, the screw hole is back in the board. That would trigger me knowing that that's not there. That would actually bother me knowing that that was not there. Piernov, you can have it. If Apple offered you a high-paid job, would you accept? Depends what I'm doing. Am I working on their repair department and figuring out ways to make repair cost-effective for the company while they also help the customer? Sure. Am I getting a job at Apple as a PR person? No. Like, what am I doing? It depends on what I'm doing. Am I getting paid $1 million to do nothing, but I have to show up and sit there all day and sign an NDA? Oh, fuck no. I just found the damn screw grommet right after I stole it off a donor. Damn it. Go figure. The last place you look. Well, the last place you look is always where you're going to find something, because you're going to stop looking once you found it. There's no reason to continue looking after you found something. Therefore, you're always going to find something in the last place you look, unless you're the type of psychopath that actually keeps looking for something after they found it, which I would advise against. It's a waste of your time. Will not charge or turn on. Let's see if we get a question mark folder. Show me a nice question mark folder. The burrito wasn't good with his mood. I enjoyed my burrito. My burrito made me happy. It's also the last place you left it. Oh yeah, that's when people go, when I say, I can't find this. Where's the last place you left it? You think that I didn't look there already? You think that I'm so dumb that I didn't look there already? That's offensive. So, that's what we needed here, was a replacement of the ISL 6259. Let's take a look at a schematic for an 820-3787 MacBook board and see if we can figure out, show you what my thought process was. So the machine was taking 24 milliamps. However, it was producing a green light. Remember, the first thing we usually look for when it's not powering on is we look through the list of power rails. And over here on this schematic, the power rails are going to be around page 65 of the schematic. On this one, just to be unique and special, they're on page 81, because putting the most important part of the schematic on a different page every time is just part of Apple. Now, PP3V4 2_G3 hot is going to be required in order to get a green light in the charger, but we had a green light in the charger, so that was already good. So we go up to the rest of the G3 hot rails, like PP G3 hot. We measured that rail, and it says over here it's supposed to be 12.8. We're getting 3.7. That's a considerable difference. So we decided to check out the chip that creates PP G3 hot and see what was going on with that. If we take a look at the chip that's responsible for creating PP G3 hot, you'll see that we find ourselves U7100. If we take a look at U7100, battery charger, you'll note that even though Apple stopped using the ISL 6258 in 2010, they continue, actually 2009, they stopped using the chip in 2009, they continued to include it in the schematic up until 2014. Very pathetic. Whoever writes this thing, just smash their head with a Nerf dart. So over here, you'll see that U7100 is going to not be an ISL 6258. It's going to be an ISL 6259. Depending on what part of the document you look at, it's a different chip. And it's the independent repair people that are incompetent. Now, isn't it? But I'm not salty. So if you take a look over here, This is the chip that outputs that. So I check the current sensing circuit. For any of you who want to know what current sensing is, I'd highly suggest you check out my videos on what is current sensing and what is it for. That's why I was checking the resistance between pins 27 and 28 over here, as well as checking the resistance between pins 17 and 18. TLDR, it's going to check the voltage in the top and the bottom of this resistor that is in the stream of current flowing into the system. It's going to see what the voltage difference is, and it's going to use that to tell how much current the system is using. Everything looked fine. Everything looked good. No corrosion, no nothing. Voltage was going in. Voltage wasn't going out. So I replaced the chip, and now it works. I used the chip from store.rossmangroup.com because why would I use a chip that came from anywhere else than lovely store.rossmangroup.com, our one and loyal sponsor over the years, even after being deemed harmful and dangerous content. Round of applause for store.rossmangroup.com for not pulling their advertising during this turbulent time. And now we get a question mark. Green light. Everything works. Beautiful. Even put back the screw hole that somebody broke. Now we have a nice, beautiful working MacBook. And as always, I hope you learned something. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.